Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the X-Men again, but we're not going to talk about prom. We're not going to talk about the Hellfire Gala.
Probably a lot of them are supporters of the Hellfire Gala and prom.
I'm sure. We're going to talk about Twitter driving the showrunner of X-Men 97 off of the platform, accusing him of whitewashing the character of Sunspot, who's being introduced, I believe, for the first time in animated form, because the voice actor they cast was too light-skinned for their liking. The voice actor.
But he is the from the country.
Yeah, he's Brazilian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like the Lilo and Stitch thing all over again. Yes. Nani's too light-skinned.
So they get a victory, they claim a scalp, and then they always look for more. Now in this case, I think, I'm gonna be honest, my gut on this is Beau DeMayo already had a target on his forehead because of the Witcher comments where he said that, you know, he didn't get along with the other writers on The Witcher because they wanted to deviate from the source material. And this guy has said before that he's going to try to, you know, make sure the X-Men remains very close to.
It's because he's a white supremacist.
The black gay man is a white supremacist.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say he's also a toxic straight man.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be the narrative. Knowing that he's neither one of those things, that's going to be the narrative. And what gets me is, so the people that were yelling about, oh, how dare you harass Moses Ingram and Kelly Marie Tran and all that shit, are the ones that are harassing, the same type of person that's harassing him.
Yes.
So everything they claim everybody else does, they do it, and they often do it worse.
Yeah. I actually, of all the Marvel projects, of all the X-Men stuff that is coming out, I have no hope for most of it, but I do have hope for the show because it does sound like he's trying very hard to maintain the integrity of the best, in my opinion, the best era of the X-Men and not go down some ridiculous road, like Marvel's done current year.
Good,
but
he needs to.
He's casting the best voice actors for the part, he thinks. Now, we did have the voice actress of Jubilee step down because she was white and that was trendy then, like everybody had to quit. I think it was a Disney mandate. I think it was like, you're white, you're playing an Asian.
Jean Grey better be a ginger.
Yeah, right. She better be.
If she's not, then that's how dare you.
But this whole thing, I mean, with voice acting is just ridiculous. We've covered this in multiple instances where, people have been ousted from jobs gigs they've had for decades because basically because of a poo in that documentary, all of a sudden it was like, oh, everybody's got to quit. Everybody's white voicing a non-white character has got to quit right now. And it all happened
but if you're not white, you can still voice white characters. That's completely fine.
That's totally fair. Yeah,
honestly, I don't really care. I think whoever is the best person for the part should get the part. I really don't care if it looked like the character. I really don't give a shit because when I see it on screen, I'm not going to see them. I'm going to hear them, but I'm going to see the character. So,
and that's it. I mean, were the actors that played the Smurfs, were they blue?
Yeah, right.
They better be blue. They better be blue. So we're going to talk about this.
That's cultural appropriation.
We're going to talk about this. You have to be shirtless and blue when you're voicing Papa Smurf. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
She's trying to give woohoos today. She had dental surgery a couple days ago, so her woohoos aren't quite back at full strength, but she'll get there.
I can talk while I can.
Yeah, so you'll get her in a couple of videos today. Before we get into this situation with Beau DeMayo, who I'd really like to talk to this guy sometime. I really would. The offer is open, by the way, if you're listening. I'm sure you're probably not, but if you'd ever like to come on and talk, Mr. DeMayo, I'd love to have you on. I just want to remind people that this is the actress that played Rainbow Bright. We did not know this as kids, that this little blonde hair, blue-eyed girl was...
Did we care?
No.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Current year, though, she'd only be allowed to play Indigo, right? No, seriously, because that's the way it works now.
No. You're allowed to play any character that's white and your own race. It's just you can't play, you can't play any Asian kids.
Okay. Yeah, Rainbow Bright's effed up beyond belief now. Anyway, like Patty O'Green's a freaking tree monster.
Oh, was that when the cartoon was out or the comic was out, and then we roasted the shit out of it. We tried to be fair. We tried, and it was awful. So may or may not have something to do with it getting canceled. But that's another story entirely.
Yeah. So this was Rainbow Bright, and of course, Cree Summer was Penny Gadget.
Yeah.
We didn't care.
No,
Nobody
didn't
cared.
care.
It was actually a shock finding that out later. Because I remember watching Different World, and her voice is so iconic. And I'm like, why the hell do I hear Penny Gadget on this show? What is going? And I'm like, oh my God, she's Penny Gadget? Mm-hmm. Seriously?
Yeah, because it was about the voice that fit the character, not about. A lot of times they wouldn't even look at you. They have their backs turned. They wouldn't. They just listen to your voice clip, and then, are you the right person for the character?
That's how
yes or no? I don't care what you look like because you're not on camera.
But fast forward to 2-3 years ago, it became very trendy, and I believe a requirement to only play roles that look like you, which is incredibly limiting for animation, because one wonderful thing about animation is you can be anybody. You can be literally anybody. We got grown women playing little boys. Mm-hmm. We got, dogs and cats playing each other. I don't know, just, grown men playing dogs and cats, and the same thing. People having conversations with themselves sometimes. Frank Welker, who's doing like half the Scooby Gang or was, just like, it's crazy. And all the sound effects for like everything. But that's over now. Now you have to look exactly like the character or else, which is so stupid, because animation was supposed to free us from that. Ageism and sexism and racism.
Well, for a lot of people, it gave them more opportunities for roles because you didn't go by what you look like.
There were some black voice actors who were like, I loved animation because I could be any character I wanted to be. I mean, Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince was freaking Shredder. That would never fly current year. They'd be like, hell no. Hell no. But so Bo DeMeo announced he was leaving Twitter because of the harassment. Now, we got to walk it back here a little bit. This is coming from We Got This Covered. They have some of these tweets. There were some pretty nasty ones out there. So this is Roberto da Costa. He is Afro-Brazilian. He is darker skinned. He is Sunspot, and he's a very popular X-Men character. And apparently he was not on the animated series, but this is the first time he's going to be in it. And
which is cool. That's first. They're bringing him to the animation.
Right, and they cast this guy, who's not a white guy. He's Brazilian. Roberto da Costa. This is him. People are pissed. They're pissed. It's disheartening how persistent folks can be in minute. They're not showing the worst ones I've noticed in the mainstream media outlets, but there are some really nasty ones out there. Mm-hmm. Go die in a fire.
Oh, I've seen it. We thought with Nani from the Lilo and Stitch about basically making threats against the casting directors and all that crap.
Yeah. See, in this case, this is where it gets interesting. So if we had the quote-unquote bigots attacking Kelly Marie Tran or somebody, with the protected persons, they would show the absolute worst tweets to make their point. These articles are cherry-picking the ones that are more rational to be like, look, they have a good argument.
Right, and they're not calling them out for, they're toxic fans, If you're harassing, Kelly Marie Tran or Moses Ingram, you're a toxic fan. I mean, nobody should be harassing anybody, let's be honest here. You're a toxic, shitty person, fanboy, man baby, whatever. And then when they do it, it's okay. And what got me was one guy's comment here, they're talking about it. It's disheartening how persistent folks can be in minimizing, dismissing issues of colorism, anti-blackness, whether in real or fictional media. The character's still going to be the same. Robert DaCosta is a biracial black Brazilian, and asking for authentic representation is not unreasonable. He's a biracial black Brazilian.
And he will be in the cartoon, he just isn't voiced by...
But he's voiced by a Brazilian.
So apparently, this is a sticking point. I have not seen the New Mutants. I forgot that movie existed. Apparently Fox forgot that movie existed because it was in limbo for like 5 years. Mm-hmm. But he was in that movie. And they said in the movie, they had the same complaints that Henry Zaga, who played DaCosta in live action, he was too light-skinned. Now they had the same complaints about Storm, I remember. And I will give you that one. The reason that Halle Berry, and I have to be very careful because everybody's flipping Halle Bailey for Halle Berry. The reason she was cast is she was a big star at the time. And then they cast another light-skinned actress to play a younger version of her, when they reset the clock, I'm assuming. But
last I checked, she was black.
She's still black, but she's not dark enough.
That's what's stupid. And the thing is, that was when you can see her. This is, you're not even going to see the voice actor.
Yeah. So, I mean...
He's still... It's It's a biracial black character, and the guy, a black Brazilian, biracial black Brazilian character, played by a Brazilian man, and that's not okay because why?
Because
if it was a black guy playing the character who was not Brazilian, that would be okay.
That would be
that's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit because if they have to look like, well, they don't look like, but be like the character, they're half of what the character is. If it would be okay that a black actor played the Brazilian character, then why is it not okay that the Brazilian guy plays the Brazilian character?
No, that's just it. So this is, and look, when they take a scalp, and this happens all the time.
You can't say that. That's.
I can say other people say it's not a hate crime. When that happens, it's like there's a bloodlust there. It's like, oh, we got so and so to quit. So now we're gonna get every other actor or actress to quit or hang their head in shame.
They did that with Lilo and Stitch.
Yes,
they got the one guy fired because he was making comments, and then they tried to get other ones fired.
Yeah, and what do? They went pouring through his Spotify history.
Yeah, it's his Spotify playlist.
To find a reason to get rid of him. That's what they do. So they're probably like...
It's like the J.K. Rowling thing. That one person that worked for the one game company... Like the girl that worked for Limited Run Games, where they went back through like 5 years ago to find one comment that she made once, and they thought that that didn't sound like what they wanted it to sound like, so they should be fired, and then she was fired. Yeah,
because they want you gone, so they have to find a reason to get you gone. It's
But I don't get this.
Stupid.
Your argument is the character is a biracial black and Brazilian person, and you're mad because it's played by a Brazilian person.
Yeah.
But it would be okay if it was played by a black person, but either one would be only half of the character. So it would have to be a black Brazilian person to make you happy.
So they said his words did little to quell the outrage, the director of the New Mutants, right? And I'm sitting here thinking, he said he saw every shade under the sun and felt that the guy he cast was the best person for the job. This is the case in the live action movie, right? But I'm sitting here thinking, like, what outrage? Most normies don't even know who Sunspot is.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if this is the first time he's been in the animated series, and he was in the New Mutants before, unless you're a comic book fan, you don't know. He's not a Wolverine. He's not a Storm. He's not one of the core X-Men. He's a tertiary, D-list X-Men, basically. I mean, he's popular-ish, but he's still not like one of the main core characters. So there's not a lot of outrage. It's manufactured Twitter outrage. Now, and again, they had Allison Court step down from playing Jubilee because that was the thing to do. Everybody had to.
Well, if you didn't, then they come after you.
Yeah. So
I'm sure that there are things happening in the background we didn't see.
I'm sure.
And it was like making her have to make that decision.
So I am thinking that this is a multitude of problems. Again, my personal feeling on this, I don't have anything other than just a gut feeling, is the mob is already gunning for Beau DeMayo because he blew the whistle on what was going down with The Witcher. And he said that he wants to, the X-Men to be the X-Men, implying that current year super gay prom X-Men is not really the X-Men that he remembers. He wants to take it back to the X-Men he remembers.
You mean the gay man doesn't want to have gay prom?
He doesn't want to make some of the straight characters gay in the X-Men because that's not who they were. Oh my God. Will Bobby Drake be straight in X-Men 97?
What blows my mind is people that are bitching about the casting choices are probably going on about white supremacy and not even having any fucking idea that the guy isn't even white.
That would be really interesting. So anyway, so here we go. This is his statement. He's leaving Twitter.
Good. I don't blame you.
He's been dealing with this shit ever since. And the writers, my understanding, the writers on The Witcher were actually coming after him. They were calling him like a hack and whatever. And I'm sure they're probably going to Disney.
Work. Do they?
Yeah, right. I'm sure they're probably going to Disney though, and they're probably like, Disney, do you know you've got a bigot on your
Disney? Do you know that the black gay man that you hired to do this show is a racist because He didn't make sure that the Brazilian character was not, both black and Brazilian or just black.
God.
I'm like, he's probably like, what?
I
can't imagine what he's thinking. He's probably like, holy shit.
I think he's noping out. He's tapping.
I don't blame the dude. I don't blame him. I've seen how these people behave.
So he said, well, guys, sad to say this page will be going dark for a bit. Could be a week, could be a year. I haven't slept. Avocation matters. I value fans' opinions, but the sheer amount of vitriol in the last 24 hours is truly taxing and actually risks working against what you're trying to do, as it's now closed off an access point because I have to protect myself. This is what happens when you attack showrunners, attack actors, whatever. It's like they shut you down and they're like, yeah, this is why Chris Pratt doesn't interact a lot.
But it's okay when they do it. It's just not okay when other people do it, that they think are on the opposite side.
Yeah. Now, again, if things were slightly different and the media were on the side of Beau DeMayo, right? They'd be like, showrunner driven off by toxic fans demanding character be recast. How very dare they? But they're like, no, we actually agree with them. He's problematic anyway because he was dunking on the Witcher writers who wanted to rewrite The Witcher.
Because, proof is in the pudding there.
To beat current year. I said several times, those of you who have spoken respectfully, I promise you will be heard. There were many of you who got emotional and impassioned. I did too. It's an emotional topic. I apologize. It happens. You're definitely heard. But those who attacked my body, lifestyle, intelligence, or who call me a race traitor.
This is ridiculous.
Over a leak, I can't really discuss.
So it's not even confirmed?
Apparently it was leaked.
So it was just a flipping leak and that's how they behaved?
I'm not the typical person you see in this position with this sort of property. Again, yeah, you have a gay black man in charge of a very high profile, very highly anticipated sequel series, and you're going to try to cancel him.
Like you said, the majority of people who were complaining about it probably didn't even know the character was. They just saw everybody else doing it and then jumped on it.
Because he was never, people who read comics know who Sunspot is, and that's
I wouldn't have known. And they said, and when users start trying to report me or get me fired over this, they were trying to get him fired over on the show. And most of the people were probably trying to get him fired, probably didn't even know what the character was, didn't even read X-Men 97, didn't give two shits about it. They just were trying to jump on the bandwagon.
Just because I'm this race or that identity doesn't mean we'll always agree. We value individualism. Part of what I champion about representation is the individual's chance to finally tell their story in their voice. So if I don't particularly like the Quiet Council, it's not a litmus test. It's not a litmus test. Die at the end of the world attacking or wait. It's not a litmus test. Die the end of the world and attacking or mocking me about it actually functions against the core of elevating and inspiring new creators. Anyway, we can get this train back on track, I think. But until then, peace. So he's noping out. I don't blame him. You, dude. In this case, I don't blame him because there's no winning this. Now, what's disgusting, again, what is disgusting about this, and we have seen this time and time again, and I hate to keep bringing race and identity politics into the pop culture thing. But
we don't want to. They keep doing it.
Yes. Social media keeps doing it. You have to be the right kind of gay. You have to be the right kind of black person.
Right kind of woman. I've run into this many times. Yeah. If you don't agree with them, they'll sit there and they'll say that they're arguing for you. They're fighting for you, whatever your representation is, whatever you identify as. They're fighting for you, like people like you. And you're supposed to let them do it and sit down and shut up. And if you speak up and say, and I'm sure a lot of you come across this who aren't, white, straight, or male or whatever. And when you say, no, actually, that's not what I think, or I don't like this, or I don't want to be used as a shield or whatever, then they call you names, step over you, ignore you, or marginalize you twice or whatever else.
And you know who's usually doing it? It's usually white people.
Usually.
I'm not trying to
white women, usually.
A lot of times it's white women or just really prissy white dudes with curly mustaches, and
trying to get toothbrushes for a penny.
So that's the type. And it's like, look, everybody, this is like, what kind of fucking bizarro world do we live in where we're not allowed to be individuals anymore? If you belong to this doesn't compute. I thought this is everything. And this is kind of the core of the X-Men. The X-Men just wanted to be treated like people, They wanted to be treated. The bad guy was Magneto, who wanted to separate the mutants from the humans because, and Professor X, the good guy, was like, no, we all need to learn to get to, live together in harmony.
Well, that's hate speech now.
Exactly. But then even the X-Men now, like the current storylines, like, oh yeah, we just went and formed our own island nation now.
And prom.
And we just do our own thing. And
I can't understand why they're like, why isn't this doing as well? No, look, at the end of the day, this is stupid. The guy shouldn't have to deal with it. But I love how it's the same behavior. A lot of times it's often worse behavior. then because they're trying to get him fired and everything else, and people that they've gotten mad about in the past, and I'm so tired of it.
But again, just you can see how differently the media is treating him. It's not toxic stands on Twitter, toxic comic book trolls
harassing the
gay black man. Had it been a different fight, had it been different people attacking him, and you know what I'm talking about, had it been over something else, had he had the correct opinion on everything, and had it been predominantly white people attacking him,
or predominantly like the toxic fanboy, quote unquote,
the fanboy, then the story would have been, oh my God, they drove the showrunner of X-Men off, those bigots, those hate mongers.
It's this double standard bullshit.
But now they're like, well, here's a very reasonable tweet from someone just trying to explain.
It wasn't that reasonable. It was really stupid. Your argument is the character's biracial, and this person that's the actor that's, I guess, rumored to play him is half of that, but not completely the same way. But it'd be okay if you hired someone who represented the other half, but not the half that's being represented.
So here's the thing. Here's how you guys on Twitter fix it.
You can shut the fuck up.
Well, you could do that, or
you could bend over, so I stick my foot up your ass.
Yes, you also could take a foot up the ass. Yes, and you can shut the fuck up. Or there isn't a third option. You can pull all your pennies together. You're not gonna be able to afford a toothbrush. Pull all your pennies together and come up with about $20 to $30 million.
Yeah, that's right. Easy.
And you can
There's so many of you, right?
There's so many
You're
of
the
you.
vocal majority.
If everybody kicked in $5 of all these haters on Twitter, so many people are outraged. If you all donated $5, you could probably pull together $20 to $30 million, and you can go make your own fucking X-Men show.
You don't want to do a blue check, so how much is a blue check?
$8.
$8. Just everybody who doesn't want to do a blue check, just to double per point, take your $8, pull it together, and then get the rights to make your own show.
So when we get $32 together,
I know, right?
Maybe you could buy about 2 minutes of this guy's time.
And you have to pay the same for every one of your alt accounts too. You don't just get like one fee for all of them. Every alt account you want to use, you have to pay $8 for too.
So you put your money where your mouths are. You want to see change on the show. I'm telling you, put your money where your mouth is, and you raise enough money to make your own X-Men cartoon series. And then you can cast whoever the fuck you want to cast.
I love all these anonymous people, so no one knows who they are. Goes and tries to get other people canceled or fired from their jobs.
Yes.
If you have the guts to do it, then post your name and and who you are too. And then because this person can't hide, so you don't get to hide either. And then people want to report you for harassing this other person. Then they can.
I've heard those calls. I've literally heard calls.
Well, that guy called 911 over the fucking toothbrush or McDonald's drink.
The McDonald's drink.
The drink called the police.
Yeah, I heard that one. I heard some other. But I heard another call. It was over a YouTuber. I can't remember which one, but somebody called the police, and it's exactly the kind of voice you would expect. It's like, "Excuse me, I'd like to report a hate crime." It's like, what kind of hate crime? Oh, there's a guy making videos on YouTube that I think
it was a tug, and it was about the Amber Heard thing, yeah.
And they were like, you could tell that it was a 911 caller. Yeah,
they're like, what?
I was like, are you smoking meth? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Can you imagine taking a call at Disney and being like, yeah, hello, there's a guy committing a literal hate crime. There's this character called Sunspot, and yeah, the guy they cast to play him, he's too light-skinned.
The character's black and Brazilian, and this guy's Brazilian, but he's not black.
I'm not going to give you my $6.99 a month anymore, Disney, until you make him black, just like the character's drawn.
Well, he's not. He's only half black. But then it's like, that was.
Does he have powers, too?
I know, right?
He better have powers.
That's like what would happen with the Lilo and Stitch casting. Like, they had to be certain Nani's not dark enough. And I'm not going to lie, she really doesn't look like the character. They're not wrong in that regard. But, they were getting to the place they were making threats against, like, the casting directors and stuff over trying to get people in trouble over stupid casting.
Fucking unreal.
Just don't go with a movie. That's what you tell us about. I don't like the fact they erased Ben Ariel. Well, just don't go then. It's not for you then. It's not you're just a racist. It's not for you. Well, don't go see Lilo and Stitch. Don't watch this show, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. It's so freaking ridiculous. And the sad thing is,
if they give into him, it's bad.
If they give into him, this is Disney. If it was any other company, I'd be like, nah, they probably won't listen. But this is Disney, and Disney's fucking ridiculous. And
then they wonder why they get the other person that's like, you know, oh, well, Little Mermaid's problematic because there's not any slavery.
Yeah.
You know, so you can never win.
Little Mermaid's problematic because there aren't enough slaves.
You can never win. So, you know, I mean, I don't know, whatever. I'm sure they'll get their way. They usually do.
That's what I'm afraid of. Again, if it was any other company, I'd be like, nah, they're not going to get their way. It's like everybody's over this shit. I'm like, yeah, except for Disney. Disney thinks it's always 2017.
And like I said, if it was somebody else that wasn't any remotely, you know, anywhere near the country of origin, a race of this character, then I'd be like, okay. I mean, I'd still be
Chris
like,
Pratt
I'd still be like, okay, that's you know. That's stupid. That's really stupid. But okay, but if I was going to give them something, then I'd give them that. But that's not the case here.
No.
That's not the case.
God, this is so. We shouldn't even be.
If he was tan more, would you be okay with it? I don't know.
Dude, go out and get a tan, then we'll take another picture and then see if we can get him to shut up. I don't know. It's just it's a cartoon. Like, he's not playing the live action version of this character. It's a cartoon. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.